For more than 3 decades, My Animated Family has done more than just entertain audiences with silly jokes and heartfelt stories. The Simpsons has developed a strange and fascinating reputation for predicting the future. Fans and media outlets often point to moments from our show that seem to come true years later. This has created a legend around the writers' room, with many people wondering if we have some sort of crystal ball. The truth is, we are just a group of writers trying to make people laugh by looking at the world around us. We often joke about what might happen next in politics, technology, and society. Sometimes those jokes end up being surprisingly close to reality, which is as surprising to us as it is to everyone else. This reputation is built on a long list of seemingly accurate predictions that have captured the public's imagination. One of the most famous examples is Donald Trump's presidency. We showed this in a 2000 episode called Bart to the Future. In that story, Lisa becomes president after him and has to fix a budget crisis. 16 years later, Donald Trump was elected president. Now, as he begins his second term in 2025, that old joke feels more relevant than ever. This specific prediction is often used as the main evidence by people who believe the show can see the future. It makes them look closer at other things we have shown over the years. Other predictions have also come true, adding to the show's mysterious legacy. We once showed a character using a watch to make a phone call, long before smartwatches were common. We joked about faulty voting machines changing votes, something that became a real news story years later. We even showed Disney buying 20th Century Fox, which happened in 2019. Each time one of these gags becomes a headline, it strengthens the idea that Springfield is more than just a fictional town. It becomes a source of modern-day prophecies, where every background detail is examined for clues about what is to come in our own world. Because of this history, it is not surprising that fans are now looking at our show for signs of a much bigger event, a potential World War III. With global tensions rising in 2024 and 2025, people are rewatching old episodes, searching for any hint or clue. The internet is filled with articles and social media posts connecting our storylines to current events. They believe that if we could predict a presidency, we could certainly predict a major global conflict. This has turned our funny cartoon into something much more serious for many viewers who are looking for answers in a very uncertain time. Several key episodes are at the center of the World War III prediction theories for 2025. The most frequently mentioned is Bart to the Future, the same episode that predicted President Trump. In that vision of the future, President Lisa Simpson tells her staff that the country is broke because of her predecessor. More importantly, she hints at serious problems with other nations, specifically mentioning a conflict with China. This detail is what fans are focusing on now. They see the strained international relations in the episode as a direct parallel to the geopolitical climate of today, where tensions between major world powers are a constant source of worry. Another episode, Lisa's Wedding from our 6th season, also contains a worrying hint. In this look into the future, Lisa's British fiancé Hugh Parkfield is talking to the family. He makes a joke about how the United Kingdom had to save the United States in World War III. Mo Syslak, who is also there, quickly confirms that this is true. At the time, this was just a throwaway line meant to be a funny jab at America. But now, in a world where global alliances are being tested, this small joke is seen as a serious prediction by many fans. They believe it points to a future conflict where the US needs help from its allies. Even one of our earliest works, a short from The Tracy Ullman Show in 1987, has been brought into the discussion. In this very old clip, Homer hears a loud noise and immediately thinks World War III has started. He panics and rushes the entire family down to a poorly built bomb shelter in the backyard. The joke is about Homer's over-the-top reaction and incompetence. However, given the heightened state of alert around the world, especially with ongoing conflicts involving Russia, this short is now viewed differently. Fans see it as a symbolic prediction of the widespread fear and anxiety about a potential global war that many people are feeling right now. Finally, there is the episode, Thank God It's Doomsday. where Homer uses biblical codes to predict the rapture and the end of the world. While he gets the date wrong in the episode, some people have connected this theme to a broader prediction of a global catastrophe in 2025. They argue that a world war would be a form of apocalypse. This, combined with other episodes that show future turmoil and chaos, helps build a larger narrative. For these believers, the show is not just predicting one event, but a whole period of instability and crisis that matches the anxieties of the current year. The theories about The Simpsons predicting a war in 2025 are not just based on old episodes. They are fueled by very real and very serious events happening around the world today, on July 5th, 2025. For the past year, global conflicts have grown more intense. The long-running conflict between Israel and Gaza has expanded significantly. It has now drawn in other countries in the region, including Iran. This has made the entire Middle East a center of global tension. The situation became even more serious when the United States recently joined the conflict, sending military support to its allies. This has made many people worry that a regional war could quickly become a worldwide one. These real-world events make the vague hints in our show seem much more specific. When President Lisa Simpson talked about inheriting a budget crisis and international disputes, it sounded like a funny exaggeration in the year 2000. But in 2025, with the US involved in a new costly conflict and facing strained relationships with other global powers like China and Russia, Lisa's situation feels eerily familiar. The joke from Lisa's wedding about the UK saving the US in a Third World War also feels different now. With America engaged in a serious conflict, the idea of needing help from allies is no longer a funny thought, but a real possibility. Fans and media outlets are constantly making these connections. Every time a new headline reports on escalating tensions, social media users share clips from The Simpsons. They create side-by-side comparisons of news reports and our cartoon scenes. Articles with titles like, "Did The Simpsons predict the war in 2025?" become very popular online. These connections are powerful because they mix entertainment with real-world fears. For some, it is a fun game of finding coincidences. For others, it is a way of making sense of a confusing and frightening world. They see our show as a guide that warned us about what was coming. The current global situation extends beyond a single conflict. There is a general feeling of instability worldwide. Economic problems, political divisions, and the rapid rise of artificial intelligence changing the job market all contribute to this anxiety. Our show has joked about these things too, like in the episode Them Robot, where robots take over everyone's jobs. These other predictions coming true, even in small ways, add weight to the bigger, more frightening prediction of a war. It creates a feeling that the chaotic future we once imagined for laughs is slowly but surely becoming our reality. So, does our show really predict the future, or are fans just reading too much into things? When you create a television show that has been on the air for over 35 years, with nearly 800 episodes, you are going to make a lot of jokes about a lot of topics. We have covered everything from politics and technology to celebrity culture and world events. The law of averages suggests that some of the thousands of gags we have written over the decades are bound to eventually resemble real life. It is like throwing darts at a board for years. Eventually, you are going to hit a bullseye by sheer chance. Many of our predictions are also quite vague and can be interpreted in many different ways. The mention of a World War III in Lisa's wedding is a perfect example. It is a single line with no context about when it happens or who is involved. People connect it to 2025 because of current events, but the episode itself gives no date. Similarly, the tensions with China in Bart to the Future are a logical guess for any writer thinking about future conflicts, not a specific prophecy. Fans often fill in the blanks with details from the real world, making the connection seem stronger than it actually is. We should also remember that the writers on our show are smart people who read the news and study trends in society. Many of our storylines are not predictions, but satires of things that are already happening or seem likely to happen. We saw the rise of celebrity politicians long before it became a reality, so we made a joke about it. We saw technology becoming more and more a part of our lives, so we imagined things like smartwatches. Our job is to observe the world and exaggerate it for comedic effect. Sometimes, that exaggeration just happens to be what the world looks like a decade later. Ultimately, I believe it is a combination of coincidence, educated guessing, and the human desire to find patterns in chaos. It is fun to think we have a secret window into the future, but the reality is probably much simpler. The Simpsons is a reflection of our world, and sometimes that reflection is so clear it feels like it came first. While the idea that we predicted a war is a frightening thought, it is more likely that our show simply made a joke about a timeless human fear. Hopefully this is one prediction that never ever comes true, and we can all go back to just laughing at Homer's latest mishap.